What's going on? Hi everyone, Dave here, back with another video. You're sitting inside my shelf right now. I took out all my manga because I am moving. I'm not moving for like a month, but I have a hard time with motivation and actually doing things. So I recently had some, spark of motivation. I have to act on it or else I'll lose it forever. So we packed up all the manga, and I'm in the process, actually, of packing up all my anime. It's over here in this chair. You can't really see it, but there it is. We'll go through it. That's kind of the point of today's video. This channel is called, Davey Doughboy Manga and Anime, but I've only done a manga collection. I do that once a year. Granted, the 2021 video was uploaded. It was like the first video I uploaded to this channel because it used to be on my main channel, but whatever. But I plan to update that every year, every March, update my manga collection. Anime, I don't buy as often. I watch a lot of it. I actually watch way more anime than I read manga. But with streaming services and everything, it kind of became a little obsolete, unfortunately. I like the look of things, how they look on a shelf. Obviously, they're not on a shelf right now. But I love the look of it. I love having some of my favorite properties in a physical form. That way I can just watch it whenever I want. I don't have to worry about, logging into a streaming service, doing all this whatever. And, yeah. But as a kid growing up, I didn't have my first computer until about a year or two ago. And I didn't have the money for streaming services. So to get anime, it just kind of relied on me finding a DVD and being like, oh, that looks cool, I'll try that out. So my anime collection has definitely, built up over the years. It's not the biggest, but I thought it would be fun. So let's just dive right into this. This is in no particular order because this is all in just one pile here. So first we got free. We have free Iwatobi Swim Club. Sometimes that's the subtitle. Iwatobi Swim Club. I love Free. It is a swimming anime. It is so much fun. I mentioned it, I think, in my top 15 anime video back when I had 30 subscribers, which, by the way, we recently hit 70. That's more than double in the past 2 months, which is kind of nuts to me. So thank you guys so very much. I really do appreciate it with everything. But if I mention an anime in that video, I might kind of gloss over it because I don't want to repeat myself, and I have a bad habit of doing that. But yeah, Free is amazing. I talk about it in that video. Eternal Summer, more specifically, is really good. Iwatobi Swim Club kind of sets it up. Eternal Summer really kind of brings it home. Dive to the Future, honestly, is a little rough, at least in the first half. It's kind of the same thing over again, just with different characters, and they kind of relegate some of the main characters to the background for less interesting characters, and it kind of is a bummer. I actually bought this and didn't realize it was a different region, so I had to buy a whole region-free Blu-ray player just to watch this. And I don't regret doing that because at the end of the day, it is more free, and Free is awesome, but they introduce a bunch of characters that some of them are really great characters, but they don't give them the time to develop because they're constantly focused on freaking Ikuya over here, who isn't even that bad of a character, but it's just basically the same plot that we got with Haru in the first 2 seasons. So it kind of is pointless, but I would recommend Free. And Dive to the Future sets up the season 4, which got delayed due to COVID, but it sets it up in a pretty good way, and it makes me really interested to see how they're gonna, do season 4, where they're gonna take the show. Next, we've got the X-Men anime. I think this is super fun. Marvel did like a line of anime of their characters. There's an X-Men anime. There's a Wolverine anime specifically. I think they did 1 or 2 more. I want to say maybe a Deadpool one. I don't actually remember, but I found this in my local record store, of all places. Or actually, this one might have been a game store. I don't know. I don't remember. But Sometimes I just love finding cheap anime. This was $10 and it was good. It was fine. It was solid. It's definitely interesting to see like traditional comic book characters in a different aesthetic. I think that's kind of cool. What else? We got Gun Sword, which is an anime I think I talked about before. It holds a special place in my heart by being the not the first anime I've seen by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the first anime that I sat down and watched all the way through, and and was fully invested. Like, I had seen, of course, Dragon Ball Z and whatever, but that was at different points in my life, and I kind of skipped around a little bit, and I kind of like watched a chunk here, chunk there. But Gun Sword is the first anime that I actually sat down and watched all the way through. And it's pretty good. It's like Western, kind of mixed with mech stuff, I think is interesting. And I love the Save series because it just is super easy to have everything together. Have a whole series and for a good price. So, yeah, pretty good. It's not like great, and the ending is kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie, like spoilers, whatever, but the ending is kind of stupid. But the characters are fun, the aesthetic is cool. It's good. Next we have another anime I've talked about before, super slept on, and that's Toriko. I love Toriko. These are all the English episodes. It got up to episode 50 before it stopped the dub production. But I love the way that these look together, part 1, 2, 3, 4. And the story is really good. I've talked about it before again, so if you're interested, I talked about the manga, and I think I talked about the anime in the 15 manga video and 15 anime video back for 30 subscribers. So if you're a little more interested in my thoughts, go ahead and watch that. Shameless plug. Next we have Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is the funniest anime ever. I've talked about this one as well. The dub is like, there's a hot debate, sub versus dub. I'm a dub watcher. I know I lose my credibility, my weeb standing, but again, if I was gonna read, I would read the manga, right? But I think this dub is one that both sides can agree on is superior to the sub, because it is just freaking hilarious. It is like almost South Park, not maybe that heavy, but like in that realm of like when it comes to the vulgarity and some of the stuff being said by these children, like some of the jokes are super out of left field and super off the wall that would definitely not fly today. But it's very funny and definitely unique in its regard. It's like a PG-13 Scooby-Doo, anime. Next we have one of my 2 Ghibli films, and that is Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. This is the first Ghibli film I've seen and the first Ghibli film I owned, and it is great. It's awesome. It's fitting that it's the first one I owned and seen, because I'm pretty sure this is Ghibli's first official film as well. And it's cool. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. I don't really need to go into it. It's a great plot, a great story. Really cool. Really great world. Next, we have 91 Days. I've become, I'm a big fan of, mafia type stuff. Godfather, Goodfellas, whatever. I find that whole world, that whole organized crime to be super interesting. And this is, kind of in that, well, not kind of, it is in that realm. I find it to be super interesting, the story. This character's out for revenge, and he kind of becomes buddies with the guy he's kind of supposed to kill, and it's this, what's going to happen. It's kind of a bit of a thriller. It's got those elements in there. And yeah, it's a quick series. It's only 13 episodes. I kind of wish that there was more, because I feel like there's a lot that you can tell with this story and with this world and with these characters. But I think it wraps itself up. If I can talk, it wraps itself up pretty nicely, and I think it's just a very good, solid kind of crime, mafia anime. It's good. Next, we've got this one I bought when I worked at the collectibles store. This just, somebody traded in their collection of anime. There were 2 big tubs full of anime. A bunch of Naruto, some Dragon Ball, stuff I'd seen before. But this one, and a lot of you guys may get on my case about putting this in with anime, but it's got an anime aesthetic, and that is, of course, Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans. Yeah, I know it's not anime, but it's got that aesthetic, so just roll with me on this. It came in these clear, like, almost like, not even bootleg, just like clear-ass nothing containers, but I don't care. I think it's fun. I think it's just an interesting thing. I am missing one. I think I accidentally left it in my Blu-ray player, but I think I got like through season 2, and then one of the discs stopped working, so I couldn't finish it, and then I kind of just forgot about it. But at some point, I'm gonna want to finish watching this because it is good. It's weird for a kids cartoon to be this, like, have such heavy themes sometimes, and such like interesting moments where you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, like, just some kind of interesting things that happen and lines and whatever. But yeah, it's Teen Titans. You guys know about Teen Titans. I have to pick up the last season at some point. This is one that I got at my local record store. They have a bunch of DVDs there. And this is a 3-series collection of like a few sci-fi anime. Or, yeah, it's like Ultraviolet, Code 44, Kurozuka, and Viper's Creed. I haven't even watched it yet. It was $15. I thought it'd be cool. They, were all kind of short series, so maybe these are series I can review at some point. I watched a little bit of Kurozuka. I thought it was okay. But I didn't even finish it, and I didn't watch the other two, so I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if those are any good. Next, we have Dragon Ball GT, the complete series. A lot of people hate on GT. I honestly don't mind it. If you're going to compare it to other Dragon Ball series, yeah, it sucks. But if you're taking it for what it is, which what it is at this point isn't even canon anymore, so if you just want to take it for what it is, this own self-contained parallel universe, whatever, I think it's fine. Yes, the Black Star Dragon Ball arc is so boring, and it's the arc that kicks off the show. So I feel like a lot of people watched that and then hated it and then just wrote off the entire series, which I totally understand because, again, that arc is so boring. But if you stick with it, there's a lot of interesting characters and a lot of interesting fights and moments, and honestly, it's not half bad. Next, we have Dragon Ball Z, Fusion Reborn and Wrath of the Dragon, 2-movie set. Some of the Dragon Ball movies are good, some of them are bad. These two are ones that I think are okay. Honestly, I don't remember a whole lot about them, but it's Dragon Ball, and for a kid who was just looking for anything Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball anime, whatever, this proved to be really good. And it came in this cool like steelbook case, which I think is fun, and yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it's Dragon Ball. Like, you guys know Dragon Ball. Same thing. We're just gonna run through a bunch of Dragon Ball shit. We got parts 1 and 2 of Dragon Ball Super. This is before I had Funimation and was just able to watch it there. So I picked these up because I was super interested to see what they were doing with Super and with the series. A lot of people have their issues with Super. I get it. But, at the end of the day, it's still Dragon Ball, so you either like it or you don't. Like, I feel like at this point, no matter what they do with Dragon Ball, it's not going to change your opinion. So if you like it, you probably were like, Super's okay. And then if you don't, you probably hated Super, and that's fine. But yeah, I think it's interesting because these parts retell the movies, Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, and they told them a little bit differently, which I find to be kind of interesting. And even the manga tells it a little bit differently. So I think just to experience these storylines in kind of different ways, I find interesting. So that's why I found it. Also, my OCD wouldn't let me skip that. My buddy skipped it and was just like, well, we watched the movies and they just retell the movies. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But also, 1, they tell them a little differently. And 2, my OCD is like, no, dude, you got to start at episode 1. So that's where I started. But of course, and then like I just showed, we have Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. 2 solid movies, especially after the series had been kind of on hiatus for so long. It was a pretty good comeback to form, I guess. Continuing with Dragon Ball, we got 2 more Dragon Ball things, so just bear with me if you don't care about Dragon Ball. We have the Path to Power movie. This is the first anime disc movie I actually ever owned. I found it in a supermarket of all places. I was a child and I was like begging my mom. I was like, "Mom, can we please buy this?" And we went home. I watched it immediately, and I've watched it so many times over the years, and it's good. I think it's solid. Upon watching Dragon Ball, the actual series later in life, you can definitely tell how wrong this is, how many things this gets wrong. For example, why is Goku in his blue gi? He doesn't wear that in the original series, at least from what I can remember. Maybe in the very beginning, but there are a lot of instances that just don't add up plot-wise. But I also find that kind of interesting because it's almost like, the same thing with like GT, or the same thing with the retelling of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, the movies versus the show. It's interesting to see just kind of a little bit of a different outlook, almost, again, like it's a parallel universe in some instances. But I love the interactions with Ader. I mean, his friendship with Android 8 has always been really heartwarming and sweet, and, not a bad movie. And the last for Dragon Ball, I think, is the Broly movie. This was just, I think, a good movie. A lot of people, I've heard people say, "Oh, the whole movie's just a fight," and it's like, well, yeah, that's good. Like, this movie had some instances or some things that like I didn't really love, but at the end of the day, like a Broly movie, and with Broly as a character, I feel like it should just be about the fighting, and this movie I think does that very well. It moves quick. When I watched it in theaters at first, and we got to the fight already, I'm like, oh, they're already freaking fighting. That's crazy, so it moves quick, but I liked it enough. I should watch it again sometime soon. But yeah, wanted to pick it up. Okay, now we get out of the Dragon Ball stuff. Here is an interesting one. This is Dando, the Super Shot. This is a golf anime. I love golf, and I thought, wow, golf anime, super cool. I've only watched part 1, the front 9. I want to watch the rest of it, but I just didn't get around to it. It's very kid anime. Like, it's very, like Saturday morning, like cartoon anime. But if you can get past that, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's golf. If you like golf, you like anime, which, fellow golf and anime player, what's up? It's just us. It's just us too, I guess. I guess I've never heard of that before. But yeah, it's fun. I think golf is great, and I love anime. So put the two together, and there you go. Next, we have the Fist of the North Star movie. I love Fist of the North Star. I think it's so cool. I just think Kenshiro, and just the idea of like this guy can just kill you, like just explode you by punching you. And it even says on here, he'll blow your mind right out your skull. And it's like, dude, that's sick. That's so sick. I haven't watched the movie in a while. I think it does a good job of like kind of explaining the world, but obviously there's a lot at play here. And I played the Fist of the North Star game, the one that's kind of like Yakuza. I forget the title of it, but it's like made by the Yakuza guys, I think, and it's very Yakuza-esque. But I thought that was a good game, and this was a pretty decent movie. If you like Fist of the North Star, it's good stuff. Next, we've got Grimgar, Ashes, and Illusions. This, honestly, not the biggest fan of the. I don't really love isekai stuff, and this is one of those. And they don't ever really explain what happened or why they're here. Spoiler alert, but I'm saving you time, because this whole time you're wondering why they're here, but they don't ever actually explain that, or at least I don't think they did. And the fact that I can't remember kind of shows that it either didn't happen or was super underwhelming. But, like, it was fine. I mean, it's, similar isekai shit that we always see, like, oh, you die in this world, you die for real. And it's like, oh, how are we going to deal with the being here now? And it's like, whatever. Like, I don't know. It just, there are ones that tell it better, and also just me being somebody who's not super into isekai stuff. You know, it was just kind of whatever. And there's a scene in the beginning where they kill this goblin, and it's super brutal, and I almost kind of felt bad. So it kind of turned me off, like, to watching it, because, like, I just kind of felt bad watching it. But I pushed through, watched till the end, and it kind of wasn't worth it. An anime that is worth it, however, and one that you guys all know, is Haiku. This seasons 1 and 2, and I have the third season, like, special box set thing. I love Haiku. You guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys know how awesome Haiku is. I've talked about it before on the channel. And also just, it's awesome. So yeah. And then in this box set edition, we got the DVD version, we got the Blu-ray version, we got a special, like, art book thing. Like, we have a booklet, too, of just, like random, I've actually haven't, oh, I've read this, yeah. I thought I didn't read it, but it just, like, explains every episode. Like, it's almost like a walkthrough guide or, like, a strategy guide, you know, like you would see, like, for, like, an old game, like, in a game store or whatever. It kind of just explains every episode and what's happening. Some of the, like, special thanks and whatever, gives you a little bit about characters and stuff. That's kind of cool. It also came with these cards that I use for bookmarks for manga. It's like little Shiro Torizawa, you know, descriptor cards, which I wish we got some Karasuno cards, but I kind of get it. I mean, at this point, we already know a lot about the Karasuno boys, so, you know, they wanted to give us Shiro Torizawa cards, and I feel like the aesthetic of this collection is so cool because it also gives you an animation book as well. I'm not really doing a good job showing it off, but, like, look at some of this artwork. This is incredible. But the fact that this whole season is just this one game, I find so interesting. And I think the aesthetic of this is super cool because it's basically just like Shiro Torizawa versus Karasuno. We're going to make it, you know, this whole season, and we're going to also just make the entire collection or special edition based solely around this fact. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Comes in a nice little box there. Fun stuff. I am so excited for Season 4. Season 4 may already be out. I don't know. I haven't seen it, I guess. So I'm excited to watch it eventually. But I haven't been able to yet. So that's what that is. We're down to the last two. We got Yuri on Ice. Season 2, I think, is being made. I think. I love Yuri on Ice. I was like, you know, ice skating anime, let's do it, man. Like, you know, I learned from Haiku to put my reservations about a sport aside because, like, I don't have anything against ice skating, but I don't really know a lot about it, and I didn't think I would care. But then I watched Yuri on Ice, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like, ice skating, kind of baller. And I give the credit to Haiku because the same thing happened when it came to Haiku and volleyball, because I was like, volleyball, I don't know about that. But then Haiku obviously changed my mind. So yeah, Yuri on Ice, good stuff. A lot of these are ones that I'm sure you guys have seen or at least heard of, or ones that I have talked about before, so that's why I'm kind of speeding through. Last one we've got is Afro Samurai. This is the director's cut edition. It comes with this really cool slipcover. This, like, magnetic, like, booklet here thing. Afro Samurai is awesome. It's kind of short. I think they did a movie or two, like, kind of building off of how it ended, because it ended in a pretty interesting way where you're like, oh, I want to see what happens. And I don't know if I ever actually watched the movie, so I should, because I feel like that might explain a little bit more. But it's been a while since I've watched it. So I don't remember every little thing about it, but Samuel L. Jackson playing Ninja, and of course Afro, he did a great job. It was a great performance, and I love the aesthetic of making it, you know, obviously an anime, but also giving it like those Akira Kurosawa kind of treatment with it, you know, with its kind of, you know, samurai themes. And, you know, it's got some really interesting themes in there about like, you know, loneliness, about like, you know, overcoming past trauma and events, and again, the way that they balance it with, like I said, it felt like a Kurosawa film. It felt like an anime, like an anime adaptation of you know, one of Akira Kurosawa's work. So yeah, good stuff. I know I kind of ran through quickly there, but I didn't really have much to say because, like I said, a lot of it is stuff that you guys have probably already heard of or stuff that I've talked about before. But if there's anything here that you want to hear a little bit more of, I would love to do a review of some of this stuff. I have reviews coming. I'm working on a review of Blue Period, and there are a few manga that I'm reading right now that I want to do reviews for as well. Obviously, like I said, in the process of moving, so stuff may be a little bit different. But yeah, that's cool. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks again for 70 subscribers. I did this on my main channel. I made a stupid sign for 69 because that's the sex number, and that's funny. But I didn't even get to do that because I already passed it. So that's awesome. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. It means a lot to me, and I want to keep this channel going. And once I get into my new place, you know, I'm gonna set it up in a different way because I got into this apartment. My mother and I moved in here, and you know, we had just gotten out of our, you know, shitty situation. I don't need to get into it, but we got into here, and I just kind of wanted to seclude and hide in here. But I think moving into this new space, you know, with a new mindset and a new outlook on life and a new outlook on my channel, I think it'll be a good opportunity for me to really hit a creative stride and really set my room up in a more kind of creative way, in a creative environment to really make some great content for you guys. So that's gonna be happening in the beginning of August. And then I think things are going to go up. Things are going to continue from here. So let's build a good community together. Let's build a good channel. I appreciate you guys a lot, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. I did the wrong sign. Peace. Have a great day. Bye.